Hey VC, what's up? It's me, yours truly. I am back to post a quick video here. This is going to be a video response to Luke. I believe the second part of his username is it Skyam or Skium? I'm not sure. I think SCIOM or something like that. I just stumbled across his channel like a day or two ago and had subbed to his channel, and I started watching some of his videos, and I stumbled across a thread that he's doing right now. So it's kind of fun. I really loved his answer, and I saw a couple of other people who had done answers to this thread, and it just want to have my wheels turning. And once that starts, I got to jump on board and do a response. So it was called the movie song thread. I think he said it was an idea he got off of the Facebook page or something like that. And basically, it was just share some songs that are really kind of synonymous with the movie. You know, like when you hear the song, you can't help but think about the movie. It's just they're so connected. And I was like, yeah, that's a fun one. So I was kind of jump on board because I love soundtracks, especially 80s soundtracks. So yeah, I just kind of picked out a couple things. I tried to avoid just pulling soundtracks and tried to pull something or more things that were songs that were on studio albums, but you know, again, were very had a very strong association with a movie or something like that. But there was like two or three soundtracks I pulled out just because, you know. But anyway, let's just kind of jump right into it. We'll start out here with The Lost Boys. And of course, the song I'm going to pick off of that is, if you can guess, Cry Little Sister, which is performed by Jared McMahon. And again, that's there's so many songs, of course, associated with soundtracks, but I think that's one where it's virtually impossible to listen to that song and not see the vampires from the Lost Boys. I mean, that song it's haunting anyway. So that's one that I wanted to pull kind of right off of the soundtrack because again, it has a very very strong association. Another one would be my girl Tina Turner, and the song is "We Don't Need Another Hero," which is from the movie, of course, Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. You know, and kind of the same thing. At least for me, it's impossible to hear that song and not just totally go into the movie Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. Now, of course, that song is "We Don't Need Another Hero," you know, Beyond Thunderdome. So it's kind of written, I guess, for the movie, but still, it's just the association is so strong with that one that I think it's virtually impossible to listen to and not think about the movie. Now, the next two I think might be the strongest, two of the strongest associations like ever whatsoever. And what makes it even more powerful is it's not even like the song they play at the beginning of the movie, or the song they play at the end of the movie, or the song they play 10 times throughout the movie. It's like the song they played 20 or 30 seconds of in the movie for a 20 or 30-second scene, and it's seared in your mind forever. You know. And so the first one that falls in that category, and I would arguably vote is the strongest association, is right there. Peter Gabriel's um, Peter Gabriel's "In Your Eyes." You know, "Say Anything" with John Cusack. You know, "On the Line," the big trench coat, the boom box over his head. I mean, that is just, it's seared. And that might be, I think, the strongest association that I can think of a song within a movie. So that's right there at the top of the list. And the other one I think that's right there on par with that would be "Moving in Stereo" by the Cars, which of course is associated with what scene? Fast Times at Ridgemont High, the pool scene. So, you know, when what's her name comes out of the pool and he's standing there in his tux and she gives him a little flash and they kiss for a second, literally, that's 20 or 30 seconds. But I think that is seared into everyone's mind when you hear that part of that synth solo kick into that song. You cannot not be at that pool. There's a little double negative there. Or I guess that's wrong. You cannot be at the pool. So yeah, I mean, I think that is a very, very powerful one right there. Moving in stereo by the Cars with Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Another one. Now I'm pulling it off the soundtrack, but of course this wasn't written for the soundtrack. But old time rock and roll, Risky Business. I mean, especially when that first came out. I mean, that shot right there. I mean, that was just like. I mean, of course, everyone knew that. It got parodied and everything. So, Bob Seger, old time rock and roll with Risky Business. I mean, pretty much on that intro, it's hard not to see Tom Cruise running and sliding across the floor in his underwear. Let's see. And here's one actually I'm very curious about, because this is a very, very strong association for me, but I don't necessarily know if it would be for other people or not. So let me know for sure with your comments down below. But it's the song Layla by Derek and the Dominoes. And my association with this, see if you can guess first, is with Goodfellas. Alright? And if you remember in Goodfellas, there was the scene where Jimmy, the character Jimmy, was so worried about getting caught for the robbery that he did that he started killing everyone, and he wanted to keep all the money to himself as well. So like all the guys that helped him with the Latanza heist, he started killing them. So there's this scene where you just like spend 15 seconds or so flashing to different scenes where they're just showing the bodies being found. Like, the guy and his wife in the car, and I think it's Carbone was his name or whatever, that was like frozen in the freezer. The other guys in the dumpsters. And so when they go to that scene of showing the first person that's dead, Layla is playing, and it's right at the part where the piano solo kicks in. And so, I don't know, I saw that movie long before I knew about Derek and the Dominoes, and so every time I hear that piano solo part, I mean, it takes me to that part of the movie, and it's an automatic creep out, because I associate it with when the first time I saw that movie, and that was just like a gory scene. So, since I'm really curious if anyone else makes that association from Goodfellas, but it's an extremely strong one for me. And then the last two, gonna go off of Vision Quest here, and I mean, Journey Only the Young could be one you can associate, but then again, that song was so big. There's plenty of people that love it and probably don't associate it with Vision Quest at all. But I think one song that really is associated with Vision Quest would be the song Change by John Waite. Whenever I hear that song, I can't help but think about Loudon Swain. So, yeah, and again, that may be one that's just more about, 80s fans and that type of thing, but that's a very, very strong one for me. And last but not least, again, this may be one that's a little more so, kind of maybe just my opinion. Maybe a lot of people don't feel this way. But When in Rome and the song The Promise, I automatically go to the closing scene of Napoleon Dynamite. When I hear The Promise, at any point in time, if I'm playing it, all I see is, Napoleon playing that tetherball, like every single time. It's seared in. So that's another one that I've kind of picked there. And, I guess it is one CD I pulled out. I mean, this is also one that arguably is one of the strongest ever, which is Hadaway. And, of course, this is Night at the Roxbury. I mean, again, that's an extremely strong association. So, that's another one there, too. Alright, so there you go. Again, very fun thread. It was kind of cool pulling some stuff out and thinking about it. So many that I skipped over. It's kind of almost driving me crazy, especially going back to the 80s stuff. But as always, VC, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think, especially about the Derek and the Dominoes. I'm really curious if that's a strong association for anyone else. So we'll talk to you guys soon.